Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I have an incredible guest with me. She's got a absolute resume and a half to go through. I'm just going to read through a couple of her achievements because we're going to dive into it. We're going to go through her story. We have our dog in the room as well, so he's going to be having a good time with us. So I've got Bree Masters with me, and I've known Bree for a few years now. Through we used to train together back in the day with the Curra crew, and an absolute weapon. Just got back from the 2022 Commonwealth Games. 13th overall in the 100 meter and 4th in the 4x100 meter. That alone is an incredible feat. She's got so many other achievements, such as got 2016 World Beach Sprint Champion, silver in the beach flags. This one is awesome. The third Australian female in more than 2 decades to complete in the blue ribbon event at the World Champions. Fastest time by an Aussie in 15 years at the global meet. That is fucking awesome. I could go on and on. We'll dive into some more of these achievements throughout her career. But Bree, thank you for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me. What an intro.
What an intro. You've got, when I said send it through, I was like, shit, that's a lot. But honestly, wouldn't expect anything less from you, to be honest, Bree. I've known you for a while, so I've actually been trying to get my shit together to organize this podcast for about 1.5 years now. So thank you for coming, and it's actually my first one in person. So trying to get the camera set up for anyone that's watching. We're kind of split screen right now. Bree, tell us, I guess, your story of how you got into beach sprints, when you got into it, what got you into it, and we'll map out a bit of a journey for people that don't know your story.
Yeah, cool. I guess most people probably don't know, or they do know that I was a beach sprinter before I was a track sprinter.
Beautiful.
My parents put me into surf lifesaving when I was just 6 years old. It was just, get comfortable with the ocean, learn my surf skills. But then amongst that, I was also doing little athletics, dancing, soccer, netball, you name it, every sport under the sun. So just to keep me fit and active as a kid. And I think I just gravitated towards mainly dancing. It's probably another thing people don't know about me. I was a full-time dancer. Growing up, I went to
Didn't know that.
Newtown High School of Performing Arts. Completed year 12 there and went on to a full-time dance course, and soon didn't think that was my calling and moved to the Gold Coast, and that's how I ended up here and in beach sprinting professionally. So
were you always athletic? Were you always had the gift, or was it something you had to work really hard for? Because sometimes generally for success you definitely need the ladder, you need the hard work, you need to put in the effort, but some people do have some natural gifts that come along with it. Were you that person? Yeah,
for sure. I guess, as I said, like dancing was my main thing. Like I never trained for running. My dad would be like, "You got to go to training." I'm like, "No, I don't want to go. It's cancelled." I hated it. It's weird to say that now because I voluntarily go to training and absolutely love it and give my all to it. Awesome. But I think running came to me quite naturally as a kid, and
cool.
I have a lot of accolades from when I was younger. I became the youngest female to win an Australian beach sprint title. So I raced when I was 13 up in the 15s at Perth Australian titles. And
where were you? What? I'm come from the surf lifesaving world. What club were you when you first started?
I was at Cronulla in Sydney, so that's where I grew up.
Yeah, epic. Cool.
Yeah, so it all started back then. But I think it did come quite naturally to me. But there's been a turn of events, and now I've learnt that you need to work hard to achieve the bigger goals. So
could you take me through a little bit of that? So I guess you had some good success while you were younger, like 13 in the under 15s. And you say you won that?
Yep, and I won multiple Australian titles after that. So I was on a roll.
Fantastic. How did that, I guess, what was your mindset going through that? Obviously, this is mainly a mindset podcast. And what were you like? Were you conscious of it? You might not have been back then, but were you like a self-driven person? Were you quite a positive person? What was your mindset like back then when you were getting sort of into starting to achieve those kind of big level achievements?
Yeah, I guess, my focus was in dancing, so running was just that side gig. And when I started to see the results and, win Australian beach sprint titles, I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I'm getting better at it. And growing up in Nippers, I was always the little short girl. So I feel like all the girls who'd grown before me, or the tall girls, and now that's switched around, I'm one of the taller ones.
Yeah.
I feel like I was quite behind growing up, and then I started to see growth. And when I was about 12, 13, I started to see those results, and I definitely put more of a focus into beach sprinting. And I guess when I started to see those results roll over year after year after year, it was thrilling, but also super tough when I didn't win a race. I think that was a massive learning curve for me, especially being so young. And a lot of younger athletes do go through that, winning is everything, but they're not sure how to lose. And I think that that's something that I took away from that period of my life.
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with loss? Because I absolutely agree. Some people we were talking before the podcast, some people, like, they'll go through challenges or adversities or a loss, and they'll take it a negative way, and it can kind of spiral into, I guess, negative attributes in their life. But some people use it, okay, great, I learned what not to do, I can be better next time. What's your attitude around, I guess, losing or not getting the result that you want when you were younger and versus what it is now?
Yeah, look, I didn't think I knew how to deal with it when I was younger. I think I was just upset, embarrassed. I just wanted to cry. Like, I tried to take my tears to my pillow. I didn't want to show that weakness, but it was definitely a struggle. I don't even really remember how I felt. Like, it just felt kind of traumatic and embarrassing. But I guess now that I've grown up, I've learned that it's okay to lose. Like, you're not always on every day, and you're racing the best in the world. Like, there are some quality athletes out there now. So yeah, not everyone is going to have an on day. And you can see that from the Olympic champ to, you know, your everyday person just down the road. So I think, yeah, just learning that it's not always your day and it's totally okay to lose, because you learn so much from losing. I guess that just kind of fueled the fire in my belly to work harder. And, you know, you don't want to feel that ever again. 100%. You are probably going to feel that again, but that's your driving force behind things to, you know, help yourself do better.
What happened from, so you're 13, winning under 15s in Perth and multiple titles in that. What happened from there? So would you, because you said you came from the dancing world into sort of the beach sprinting world. Were you in athletics at that time, or when did the athletics come into it?
Yeah, so I did little athletics growing up, but I think from memory I was about 12 or 13 when I gave away little athletics. It started to clash a lot with surf lifesaving because they were both weekend sports, and I just enjoyed being at the beach a lot more than I did at the track. Maybe I had better friends in it. I enjoyed Sunday nippers a whole lot more, and maybe I was seeing more results in surf lifesaving, so I kind of stuck to that. But yeah, I only started athletics 3 years ago again, so I think I had about 8 years off, roughly.
What brought you to the Gold Coast?
Surf lifesaving.
You came up just for that?
Yeah, yep. And I had a partner at the time who lived up here, so it was like a win-win situation. So I moved up here for that and for surf lifesaving, and yeah, it's led me to cool places.
Was that to Kurrawa?
Yes.
So you came up just for Kurrawa?
Yep, I had Mel Howard in my ear.
Epic. Cool.
Krakow Wilson now. Yeah.
What was that relationship like? I know that's probably a question only we'll kind of understand the question. Like, because I remember I brag about this even though I don't go there anymore, but I used to say, like, I'd train with like multiple world champions, because there was KP, there was Mel,
Simon,
I think it's Simon. I was gonna say the bald guy. Simon, if you're listening, what up? So you always call me Big Nuts. So you got Ryan, you got like a pedigree of like fucking high performers. What was it like being around that quality of athletes for your training?
Yeah, I think it was awesome. I think it was the first time in my career where I'd really focused on my training and, you know, put that first, because dancing was always first for me. So it was awesome to be surrounded by the best of the best and to learn from the best. And I think I really benefited from that with my career that ended up after that.
Do you believe in the saying, it's cliche, but you become who you hang with in terms of your training, just your environment as a whole?
I think so, yeah. I think they were like role models to me. And I guess, you know, when we're younger, you were younger as well at the time compared to them. You know, you look up to those athletes who are achieving that level of sport. So, yeah, I think so.
Beautiful. So you come to the Gold Coast, stopped athletics around 15, if I'm getting my dates right.
12, 13.
12, 13.
Something like that.
What led you back into it? So why did you get back into it? Because you literally just came back from the 2022, and I want to get to that story soon. So what got you back into that? So you kind of 12, 13, out of that, mainly in the surf lifesaving world. And for people that don't understand the difference, it's sprinting, it's still athletic, I guess, work, but one's on the beach, one's on the track. What led you back onto the track?
Yeah, so my current partner, Matt Rizzo, he's also a 100-meter sprinter. I met him in 2019, and he was actually coming to the Gold Coast for an event up in Brisbane, a track race. And he's like, you know, you should do it. It's like the same thing. You train on the track. Why not give it a go? And I was like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And at the time, I think I was kind of losing a bit of touch with surf lifesaving. I felt I needed to focus on my career. I think I was 21 at the time, 23, a bit too young. I was 23. I was like, I need to go to uni. I need to get my life under wraps and start saving and, you know what, adult things. And I think he could tell. So he was like, you know what, come to a track race. You need to spark things up a little bit. And I was like, okay, sure. You know, my coach encouraged it, and so did a few of the guys from the squad. So yeah, I went up and I ran 11:63 in my first 100 meters in 8 years. And at the time that was mixing it in with some of the best in the country. And I was like, really? Okay. Like, and it was a really exciting moment for me. I felt like there was a new set of goals that just popped up and something new that I could chase. And yeah, here I am 3 years later, been to the Commonwealth Games and the World Athletics Champs. Is kind of wild for me to still think that.
I've got questions before, but let's go to the Commonwealth Games and we'll come back. Tell me, what was that like? What was the experience like overall?
Amazing. I think the crowd is the best part of it.
Was it packed stadium, I'm assuming?
Yeah, so I think someone said there was 30,000 people in the Commonwealth Games Stadium. So
any nerves come up
yeah.
like in front of that?
No, I don't think so. I guess, like I said, I came from a dancing background, so I've performed in front of a lot of people before, and one being the School Spectacular in New South Wales. It's
Holy
a
shit.
massive event that was on at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. So yeah, those kind of nerves in front of a big crowd didn't really make me nervous. I don't know. Yeah, like other people would probably crumble under pressure and go, oh my God, I've never raced in front of a big crowd before. I think I handled it really well.
Can you take me through your prep for an event, like prep as in maybe the day or week of an event, and literally the prep leading up to it? I can speak from experience. I've done athletics. We got a dog in the room, by the way, guys. I remember I've had some false starts in the flags. I've had some false starts out of the blocks. So could you go through, I guess, your preparation maybe week leading into like a big event like the Commonwealth Games, because that comes around once every couple of years, 4 years or something like that?
Or 2.
Every 2 years.
Yep.
So, what's your prep like going into a huge event like that? And then I'd even like to know your prep the day of the event.
Yeah, so I guess leading into the games, it's been year on year on year of work to get to where I have. But we obviously had the World Athletics Champs before that. So that was 3 weeks before.
Yep.
So there's not usually 2 major championships in 1 year, but because of COVID, they've rolled World Champs over into the same year as the Commonwealth Games.
Yep.
So, and correct me, I think it is every 4 years, the Commonwealth Games.
I don't know. I was
I
assuming it's something like the Olympics. I thought it was on alternating the Olympics. Like, anyways, I thought
it is 4 years
alternating. So
so then I did the World Champs, so I had a 10-day taper leading into that competition. So usually when you want to peak for your main competition, which I think I had a few peaks this year, to be honest, just to try and qualify for the event. Then you've got your national titles and so on. There was a few things. So yeah, I peaked for the World Champs. So I do a 10-day taper where I train every second day, and the first day is kind of high volume, and then it gets lower and lower and lower leading into the race. So you're ready to kind of peak. It just works. I've been with my coach for 10 years now, and I just have complete trust that it's going to happen. Yes. Awesome. Yes. Still with Ryan Hoffman.
Awesome.
And I always seem to feel very crap within those 10 days leading in. Maybe the last 2 days, I'm like, oh yeah, I feel all right. But like, it's really easy to stress out going, oh God, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. But I just have 100% trust in the program and know that, you know, he's done what he's done with his programming, and I'll come up. But leading into Com Games, it was more just about maintaining that peak for those next 2 weeks off leading into the games.
Take me through the day. So say it's what day did you race? Monday, Tuesday? What day of the week was it? Paint the picture for everyone.
Look, it's all a blur to me. I have no idea.
Let's say Wednesday. So it's Wednesday morning. You've got the your heats, like first heat of the 100. What goes through the day? Tell me how you prepare for it.
Yeah, so I just make sure I get a good breakfast in. I love oats.
Love some oats. Good
stuff. Every morning, protein oats. So it was a bit difficult because we kind of had to pick from the food that was at the cafeteria, which they had a lot of range. There's so many countries there, a lot of different cuisines.
You were the Australian team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep going. I'll come back to that question.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had oats, coffee, of course, coffee. We need that.
Of course.
And I think my heats were at midday. So I just tried to stay off my feet, stay out of the sun, just relax, get ready, head on the bus, off to the track. Beautiful. Just pretty casual, you know, nothing stupid, but.
And then go up to, and I'd love for you to go super micro detail with your own sort of thought process, because you can apply this, I guess, across your life and your business, with your relationship, with your just day-to-day training. But like people, your thoughts create your life. So if you're going into, I know like Conor McGregor has mixed reputation depending what side of the fence you sit on, but it's like that level of confidence / arrogance really does pay off most of the time in the ring when he does his thing, because he believes he's already achieved it. He backs himself. He believes in himself. I'd love to know your thought process going into the event. So you get into your blocks, so you're getting ready for it. What's the self-talk like? What's the mindset like? What are you thinking to yourself to make sure you're ready to literally give every inch of your body for like 15 seconds or 11 seconds? So tell me what goes through your mind.
Yeah, I'd like to say I'm pretty different to most athletes. I think that's what I've learnt from my trip away. I'm quite relaxed, to be honest.
Good. That's a good answer.
Yeah, I just kind of Well, I guess, like I said, I've only been in the sport for 3 years and I never thought that I would ever be there or that would ever be a goal of mine. So I guess I really treated this experience as like what have I got to lose? Like I tried so hard to qualify for those competitions and you know what? I was there. Hey, what have I got to lose? Let's just do our best, enjoy the moment, take the mental pics, soak it all in because like it's not something you get to experience very often. So yeah, I just try and stay relaxed. I wouldn't say treat it like a training session, but you know, have that mindset. I don't know why, but it just works for me.
Have you been like that all the time? I think that's a brilliant answer. Like being able to just be present and calm and enjoy it and not tense yourself up, and which will generally lead to mistakes. So, have you always been like that? Or
Yeah,
has that
I think
been something
so.
you've learnt or
I
developed?
think so. Yeah, I think I look very intense or focused on the outside, but on the inside, I'm just being relaxed. Like I've got this saying that my dad has always said to me as a kid, Bree can do anything. So like I always say that on the start line and just,
See, that's a great answer.
yeah,
right
just
there.
relax. I guess it's just super easy for me to just look straight down the track going, okay, this is my own lane, run my own race, stay relaxed, like use the people next to you to run faster because you want that good competition to push yourself, but also learning not to tense up and panic when those people are around you is really challenging. And I think that's something that comes with experience. And I guess you just got to learn what works for you because there's so many other people, like so many of my friends are completely opposite to me. They're like, I don't understand you.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, you just got to find what works for you.
Great gift for you. Just to underline what you just said then, like things you're saying, and the reason I like sort of going a little bit deeper in that stuff because it's like those thoughts you're having, they might seem like nothing to you because you're so enjoying the moment, you're so present, but just like you can do anything. Stay in your own lane, focus on yourself. So many people do the opposite. They're like, oh my God, I'm going to freak out. What if I lose? What if I fuck up? What if I do this? Oh my God, that person's so fit. Look how good they're going to be. And then that will lead to their mistakes, their demise, and their challenges where you like seamlessly just go one to the other. Like you hit X amount of PBs this year and you just keep going.
Yeah, I think you need to believe that, you know, you've done all the work you can that season. Like I've been training all year. So it's like you've done the work. It should just come naturally now. You shouldn't have to think. You just focus and just get it done.
I'd love to know, we were speaking before we jumped on this podcast, just your challenges, because I know we were talking about like a health scare and a challenge you went through and how you were able to come back from that. What was it like? Could you share light on that story I'm referring to, and just again how you were able to bounce back from that and not use that to sort of spiral into negativity and go the other way? So could you run us through that event that you're talking about?
Yeah, for sure. So I've got two actually.
Oh, share please.
The first one was when I was in beach sprinting.
Yep.
It was about 2011, 2012.
Yep.
I had severe appendicitis to the point where it almost exploded as like they were taking it out of me, which is quite critical.
Yeah.
So I was in hospital for a week. Usually you're only in there for 2 days.
Yeah.
I had tubes in my stomach, draining fluids out of my stomach. I was on medication that was constantly making me throw up.
Shit.
I lost a fair bit of weight. You know, I was a young kid with just a bunch of muscle and I lost all that muscle and I was very, very skinny. So, you know, coming out of hospital, I was like, okay, I need to put back all my weight because this is not who I am. Like I need to get back to running and dancing and whatever else I was doing at the time. So, and I think at that time in my life, I also like my body changed. I was a woman. Like I started to put on weight. I started to find out new things about myself. And that was a really, really challenging time for me because I went from winning all these Australian beach sprint titles and world titles to I couldn't even make a semi-final on the beach.
How did that affect you? Let's like sort of zoom in on that. What did that affect you at all? Going from I'm winning, I'm killing it, doing well, achieving at the highest level to not even making the semis and all that stuff. Did that play with you at all?
Yeah, 100%. And I think I was still so young. So it's like, it's
How
so easy
old
for,
were you at that time?
oh, like 17,
Cool.
16, 17.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's so easy for kids that age to just kind of give it up and walk away because they don't understand.
Why
like,
didn't you?
I don't know. I guess I'd moved my whole life up to the Gold Coast. You know, I'd moved for a reason and I was like, I'm not going to do this for nothing. Yes, I said there was a partner that I moved up for at the time, but I think running really meant something to me back then. And I knew that I could do good things and I wanted to achieve more. And I had all those role models around me at training. And I think they kept me really, really motivated. So
Tony Robbins uses a quote like, if you want to take the island, burn your boats. So it's like, if you want something, commit to it and you'll find a way to do that. Was there a part of that in you? You'd moved to the Gold Coast, you've moved up here, you've committed to that. It's like, there's no way I'm not going to come back from this. Is that playing a part in that?
yeah, I guess 100%. I mean, my parents spent so much on dancing. I spent so much effort on dancing and hours on dancing that like I just gave that away for running. So it's like I wasn't going to just, you know, give away that choice that I'd made and give away dancing for nothing. You know, I felt like I'd made the right decision, and I knew that I could do it. But yeah, 3 years later, I medaled. I think I got bronze in 2015 in the open beach sprint, my first open, and I cried. My sister was laughing at me. She's like, "Why are you crying? You got third." And I was like, "No,
wow.
Yeah, I was like, "I'm back." Like, so
was there any on that topic? Was there competitiveness in your family? Was there like from your sister, or was there competitiveness, I guess, around you?
not really. I guess they were just really encouraging me.
Okay.
My sister's not in, well, she's in sport. She plays soccer and things like that, but she's not super, super competitive in what I do. She's not, she was a great runner back in the day. Maybe she would have been great too if she kept going. But yeah, she's in real estate now and killing it. So
good on her.
Yeah,
well
she's
done,
really encouraging.
Sister Masters. What was the other challenge? You said there was another one.
I tore my hamstring 2 years ago.
How was that?
Yeah, interesting. It was the first kind of, I wouldn't say, probably my biggest injury. I think in beach I always had foot injury, so I was always in a moon boot, especially leading into the Australian titles. It wasn't ideal, but you do your pool running and your bike work instead, and you get the job done. But in my second year in track and field, I tore my hamstring in February, so it was like right in the middle of the season. And for reference, the season goes from earliest like November maybe to April. So it wasn't really ideal. It was in the Tokyo qualifying year. I was like, this is not great. And I made an 8-week recovery and ended up coming back for the national titles just in time to run a PB of 11:48, which was, I surprised myself completely because I'd just been striding for so many weeks and my goal was just to get back for the national titles. So yeah, kudos to my team out there who helped me out.
A big theme I keep hearing is coaches, having the right people. How important is it for you to have the right people in your corner, whether it's the right coach, the right support, the right, whether that's obviously physically having the right coaching system or emotional support, or just people there in your corner? How important is that for you and your success?
Yeah, super important. I mean, you're investing so much of your time, so you want people who invest in you and support your goals and want to get you to your goals as much as you want to get yourself to your goals. So I think it's a very collaborative effort. I mean, I have a couple of coaches for lots of different reasons. So yeah, it's important that I try and be that middleman and help them all communicate as well, so it all comes together really well.
How do you find a coach? What do you look for in a coach? So I'm going to start getting into a bit of advice for people that know who you are, they look up to you, and they maybe want to do well in either the same field in athletic or just a sporting field or their own life. So what do you look for in a coach, for a coach to work with you either specifically with your sport or in other areas of your life?
Yeah, well, I guess, as I said, with Hoffy, I've been with him for 10 years now. So I think at the time he's the best beach coach. He has the best beach athletes, and that's where I wanted to go. So I guess, someone who's the best of the best, coaching the best athletes, has that experience and also has those qualifications, knows what they're doing, because you want to have like 110% trust in your coach to program you correctly and get you to peak at the correct time. And just someone who's...
Come on, yeah.
And people who I guess are just really motivating.
Beautiful. I'm just writing these notes down. This is beautiful stuff. I was curious on your, I listened, I think it was a photo or video or quote or something, and it was like, it was about Usain Bolt, and it's like, you see the 10-second run, but you don't see the 8 hours of effort to do that. And I guess in your sport specifically, there's so much work you do to shave off 1 second or a tenth of a second. So I'd like to know your viewpoint on, I guess, being wanting and willing to make those sacrifices for those incremental little gains, because you literally would put how much effort in to shave off a tenth of a second. So I guess your view on that, because some people won't even sacrifice going out and drinking with their friends to start a business or to go to the gym, or they'll just make excuses to watch Netflix or something like that, where you literally do the extreme opposite. You're putting months and years of work to shave this much off a sprint. So what's your sort of attitude and viewpoint around sacrifice?
Yeah, I guess once you experience that feeling of achieving a goal, it might only last for a few seconds. Or the Commonwealth Games and Worlds, I was out there for like 2 seconds, and then you just shafted off the field because our event is so quick. But that feeling of achieving a goal or just being amongst a stadium of 30,000 people is something that really, really motivates me and keeps me going. I guess I just also really enjoy it. Like, I really enjoy training, and I guess I've had people call me boring because I do sacrifice, those nights out and whatnot, but I've learned to not really love them. I don't know, I go out in my off season, I'm like, I don't love this anymore. Like, I have a new passion, and yeah, I don't know. I've just found a really strong love for what I do and the goals that I want to achieve and that experience and excitement of achieving.
So
your
when you
goals.
find something that's more fulfilling, because to be honest, most people, they fill their voids in their life with stuff like partying and drinking because they don't have anything that does fulfill them and excites them. And it sounds like you found that. I had a question that I was just going to say. What advice do you have for people? I wanted to ask maybe a two-sided question. One, I guess how you've been able to do this as a woman. My partner is very, very passionate about, I guess, women empowerment in business world, in life, and in athletics. How have you found, I guess, being able to, I guess, perform to the highest level you have? I might let this dog out of the room.
It's sad.
To be able to perform at the level that you have. Has there been any, I guess, any sort of pressure or anything different, generally gender speaking, with yourself in your sport and your craft?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever come across anything like that. I guess in today's age, everything's becoming quite equal. Well, at least I think it's getting there,
Yeah.
especially, with prize money and all that stuff. But yeah, I think I've had a fun experience in that aspect.
Beautiful. How do you, like, with that sort of comment there on prize money, how does an athlete, I guess, make a career out of it? Because I know it's such, like, it's not a well-funded sport, say like soccer or football or any other sort of big-name sports. What's it like for an athlete to go through that, to be able to balance, I guess, work life and athletics? So it's a big sacrifice. Like, I know when I was even with the Karawa crew, I know most of the guys were still working full-time to do that. So how was that balancing the craft, working on it, when you still, I was assuming, working to fund yourself to do that? What was that like for you?
Yeah, I'm still doing it to this day, to be honest. Yeah. And so I work part-time at LSKD, which I'm super grateful for. They support me as an athlete and as well as a staff member. So yeah, that's awesome. I completed uni when I was 23.
Yep.
I did a Bachelor of Communications Business with a major in Marketing and Public Relations. So I'm really grateful that I found my calling outside of sport and I pursued that to, set myself up for after sport, because I think that's really, really important. But yeah, like you said, it is actually really hard to make a career out of athletics, especially here in Australia. I mean, meeting a few people around the world, a lot of them are making a lot of money, especially over in the States and in the UK. And obviously, the best in the world are getting quite a fair bit of prize money and sponsorship money. So it does come down to that in the end. But yeah, just having the right sponsors in your corner.
Yeah.
Shake it off.
Loved it.
I think is important. Yeah.
What's your vision? What's next for you? What's on the goal board for you in your craft or personal life, professional life?
Yeah. So you've got Worlds next year. So there's actually another one next year just because of COVID. Like I said, it doubled up. Yeah. So that'll be in Budapest. So that'll be a big goal of mine for next season. Epic. And then on to Paris 2024 will be the top main ultimate goal.
Epic. I guess to circle back to that question, because I kind of doubled up 2 questions. What advice do you have for, I guess, just people that want to be successful in the athletic world? Like, what are some of the things that have served you really well? Obviously, sacrifice, working hard, not taking failures personally. What are some of the advice that you would give to someone who wants to progress in their athletic journey or their career?
Yeah, I guess, sacrifice, dedication. You're not always going to be motivated, but get out there, get it done. Prioritize you. Do recovery.
What do you mean by that?
Like, get your recovery in, eat correctly, things that fuel your body. All those little 1%ers make such a difference in the end.
Can you take me through, like, what does health look like to you? Like, and I know we were speaking earlier, so obviously go seek your own advice, own dietitians, own coaches and people in your corner. What does your diet regime or nutrition regime look like, as an example?
Yeah, so I've never actually been on a diet or
good answer.
Counted calories.
Epic.
I literally just listen to my body, and I feel like over the years I've learnt what my body likes and responds the best to. And then also with the assistance of my dietitian, I think the most important thing that I've learnt this year is fueling my body enough to get myself through 3 days of racing, because I do really struggle to eat during competition. I think I forget about it. I get carried away with the moment, especially when there's a few days of competition, say your national titles, when I'm doing a 100 and 200, or at the Oceania champs that I did this year, I did a 100, 200 and relay. So just making sure, I'm fueling my body enough to get through that entire competition with enough energy is the most important thing on my mind at the moment. And then fueling your body enough that you're not too lean that you're going to hurt yourself, especially during pre-season. You're doing quite high volume load of work. You want to be leaner, during the season, because you want to run faster and whatnot. But yeah, there's a whole thing behind it that I've learned, and I've got some good people in my corner helping me with that.
So what is that? What can you give us examples of what have served you well? Is it supplementation? What, like, you don't count calories? I'm a fan of that too. I believe listening just intuitively to what your body's craving or what it's needing.
Everything in moderation.
Good.
I love chocolate.
Good answer.
Chocolate every week.
Good There's your tip for the podcast. Eat chocolate. So yeah, what are some of the examples of supplements that you take? Or I know you said listen to your body, look after yourself. Recovery wise, are you an ice bather? Do you get massages weekly? Like, what do you do kind of on a weekly, daily routine?
I definitely get massages. Good. Love massages. Maybe
my partner asks for one every day. So.
Once a fortnight.
Good.
I try and get one. Physio is a big part of my routine, depending on how my body's responding to training.
Epic. What are some of the hacks? What are some of like the hacks you've found over the years that have served your body really well? Whether it's sleep, I've been hearing sleep all the time. So like I've blacked out our windows. We have the room cold. It's quite cold in this room right now. So we make sure it's really cold when we sleep. We don't have any phones before 30 minutes before we go to sleep. So what are some of the hacks that you found more so like physical performance, whether that's just mentally, recovery? What are some of the hacks you got?
I don't know if I have any hacks that are unknown, but I have to agree with the sleep. I love sleep, especially meeting my partner, Matt. He's like 8 o'clock in bed, turn your phone off, like, because he used to wake up really early for work. So he had to get his 8 or 9 hours in. So yeah, I think that that's super important for recovery. Other than that, I don't really think I have any. Are
you a foam roller? Do you stretch? Like,
I'm really bad at stretching.
You're a bad stretcher.
Yeah, well, I guess I came from a dancing background. So I am still quite flexible, but I think I can definitely improve on the stretching side of things. I do foam roll, especially warming up for training.
Yep.
And if I'm sore. I don't ice bath as much as I used to, but I definitely did used to. And I do ice baths around racing.
Beautiful. Anything mindfulness? I know you said you're quite I guess they said an odd person when it comes to you're so chilled and relaxed, which is awesome. Is there anything that you do mindfulness wise that adds to that? Because generally if someone's got a bit of a chaotic life, or not chaotic life, but they've got a lot of high frequency in their life, that will translate to the sort of their sport or their domain. But if you're quite a neutral, chilled, you meditate or you do yoga or you do mindfulness stuff, generally that will translate into your professional life as well. So is there anything mindfulness that you do with your sort of week-to-week stuff?
Not really. My partner's really into meditation and he absolutely loves that. He's been trying to convince me to do that. Hasn't got me there yet, but I'm very just like old school, I guess. There was some chaotic times leading up into some of my biggest races this season, and I think I was just really good at, switching off, coming back to what I needed to do to get the job done, and not letting that affect me. I think I'm just really mentally strong at this point in my life, which I haven't always been. I think it's definitely come with age and experience. But yeah, I don't do many mindful things. What's
added to that? What you just said? You said it hasn't always been like that, the mental toughness and the strength of it. What's added to that? Because I find if you want to be an athlete, that's a non-negotiable because it's like the competition doesn't give a shit how you feel, to be like honest. If they would probably want you to be struggling, to be honest. So how is that mental strength? How has that grown from what you just said then? It wasn't always like that. So how have you been able to work on that?
I think it's just all the adversities I'd been through, the appendicitis, the hamstring tear, the losses, the loss of love for beach sprinting, that for that minute there where I kind of transitioned into track and field. There's been so many things in my career that I could name, even just personal things, it could be work related, partner related, like who knows? I feel like you learn from those things. So at the time they may not feel like they're meant for you, but I feel like they always send you on a good path for the future. And I feel like I just have this no fucks given attitude now.
Good answer. It's like the end when people are going through their tough times. It's like the end of a chapter is the start of a new one, and but they think if it's bad, it's going to be bad forever, or it's good, it's going to be good forever. It's like it's all happening for you.
It's all good to grieve for that short amount of time, but I think it's important to put that aside and go, hey, look, that's happened. You can't change it now. It's in the past. What can I do for my future?
Those are great questions, guys. If you were you're gonna write a book?
Oh God, no, not on my mind.
if you do write a book in the future, say you're at the end of your journey, it's Bree's wrapping up the last chapter. What would be your main messages that you'd want to leave behind? It's a hard question.
This is a very hard question. I wasn't prepared for this one.
Take a while to think of it. I'll talk while you do it. But reason being is because I believe we learn, like even from hearing your story, there's so you're very subtle with it, but there's so many mindset little tips and tricks that have shaped you into who you are. Just staying in your own lane, staying relaxed, not caring, not moving on from things, not dwelling on things. Not like there's those in themselves are very powerful, which most people don't do. So I see so much value in that. So by being able to ask that question, it just sort of makes people kind of think about what's really served me. What could I pass on to the world? So if you had to give me three takeaways that you'd want to pass on that have served you really well in your book of Bree Masters.
My book of Bree Masters. Actually, someone commented on my video of the relay at the Commonwealth Games, and I think
that was an epic. That was
Bruce,
like the fast one with all the highlights of it. Was it that one?
No, this was from when we did the relay at Commonwealth Games, and I made like a relay post about it, and the commentary from Bruce was like Masters flying down the back straight, and someone's like, "This is the book of your life name."
Epic.
So there's the name of it.
She's already got the name.
I'd probably say don't give up.
Beautiful.
No matter the adversities, if you really, really want to achieve something and you believe that you can, keep going, keep trying, because I feel like you could resent that choice in the future.
Powerful.
So there's one. Oh God. I don't know. This is tough.
This is tough stuff. But you
prioritize you and your goals. Don't let anyone tell you any different. If you want to chase that, you do it. Don't let someone else tell you can't.
Where's that come from?
I guess I had a lot of people question me going into track and field. And I was like, hey, you know what? I'm allowed to try something different. And if I believe I can do it, then I'm going to give it a shot.
Great answer. Number 3.
Feel your body correctly.
Good.
I feel like growing up, like I said, I've kind of learnt to listen to my body and know what it needs. But in the past, I don't think I was very good at that. I used to kind of, not proud of this, but almost like starve myself leading into a national championships for a couple of weeks just to shred the weight.
Yeah.
And I just had zero energy going into racing, and I didn't perform as best as I felt I could. I may have like performed okay, but I just felt like I had no energy. So make sure you're prioritizing your health and enough food and water and whatever else you need to, be your healthier self, because I felt like I would just get really skinny, not healthy, and then jump straight back up in weight, and it was just this cycle of like up and down, and now I found this really good routine and I'm just like plateauing. So
beautiful. Good consistency.
Yeah.
Bree, thank you so much for coming in. I know it's been a bit of a mess for me to organise this, so finally happy to have you here. If anyone wants to connect with you, reach out to you from this podcast, or just consume your stuff, or just say thank you for the value you've shared today, where's the best place they can find you?
Probably my Instagram. And I got a lot of jokes about this, but on the 7 News interview, or Channel 7 interview after Commonwealth Games, Jason Richardson asked me my Instagram handle, and I was like, Bree Masters with 3 E's. And I got some jokes about that. So that's the handle. You can contact me at.
Thank you so much, Bree. I do appreciate it. It's been awesome to chat with you, connect with you, hear your story. I didn't know 80% of that. So it was good to connect with you. Good luck with the Worlds, and I believe Tokyo. What was that? Is that the Olympics?
No, Paris.
Paris. Beautiful.
Yep.
Good luck with it. I'm sure you'll crush it. I'm sure you won't give up. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.